And the first winner is Sam Prasad. You need to be here. The second winner, Ingo Fernando. Team event of the World Men's Championship. Let me introduce to you the teams playing in the match. Bowling on lanes 7 and 8. Here are the teams. The first one is Sweden, Robert Andersson, Martin Paulson, Joachim Carlson, Jesper Svensson, and Martin Larsen. Give it up for Sweden. And they'll be bowling the top seed, USA, Mike Fagan, Chris Barnes, Bill O'Neill, Sean Rash, and Tommy Jones. On the other side of the semifinals, the number 1 seed from Korea, Park Jong-ho, Chan Il-tong, Shin Suk-young, Hong Tae-sol, and Kim Kyung-hee. And the 4th seed from Australia, David Porto, Jaden Lemming, Brendan Meads, Sam Cooley, and Jason Belmonte. Okay, bowlers, once you are ready, you may start with your game. Good luck. Okay, there will be food after this match. Please hang on. Thank you.
Welcome to our live coverage of the 2014 World Bowling Men's Championships Team Semifinals here on Bowl TV. I'm Lucas Wiseman along with England's Stu Williams as we get started with our semifinals, the USA versus Sweden, as Sweden starts with a strike, and Australia versus Korea. A fantastic environment here at the Khalifa International Bowling Center as we get started. A big crowd on hand to watch. We'll flip back and forth the best we can between the two matches. But again, USA versus Sweden, Australia versus Korea. The winners will meet for the gold medal. The losers share the bronze. Well, Stu, we kick things off here. It's a great environment, very exactly what you would want at a World Championship. We've got an engaged crowd, and I would expect a couple of good semifinals here.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty exciting coming down to the last game. I believe there was still 5 teams for 3 places. I think it was about that. But I think we've got 4 really good teams now, and both teams chose medium. So I think we'll see a lot of urethane balls going down for Team Korea. Sweden have got quite a few urethane balls. I think the Aussies and the US are probably going to play with more traditional reactive balls, I would think. Having said that, Chris Barnes just threw a strike with the EPX. But yeah, should be 2 pretty good games. I would think that USA and Korea would be the favorites in both games from what I've seen.
All right, so we're just underway with our semifinals, and again, we have the feed from Abu Dhabi Sports TV here, and providing great pictures for us. Their featured match that they picked was 7 and 8, which is USA versus Sweden. But we have a camera of our own focused on 11 and 12 to get some looks at Australia versus Korea. And interesting, the crowd definitely favors the Koreans, as we asked them before they started which country they were going to be cheering for, and a lot of them say they want to cheer for Korea.
Well, we are in the Asian zone.
You can hear as Korea gets a strike, the roar out of the crowd. As we are just underway. It's going to take a long time for these games to kind of settle in. It's a full game, full 5-player team game. Combine all the scores for the 5 players. Whoever has the highest total moves on. And the game's going to take probably about an hour and 20 minutes, hour 25 minutes, something like that. So it's going to take a while. It'll be 6 or 7 frames before we really get settled in here and have a good feel for how things are going.
Although, having said that, if one team gets off pretty hot, it's a long way back. And USA have started off with 4 strikes straight away.
Yep.
Sweden had the fortunate Robert strike when he almost fell over the foul line, and then an open followed by what was looking like
2
a
opens.
9 miss.
Yeah.
So I know it's only early, but that's 20 pins straight away with the option of that being 40 or 50 with the doubles. So it's pretty easy to see how these games can get wide open blowouts very soon. So just means that everybody at home needs to watch all the way through.
That's right, and we will go through a lot of transition during the course of this game. You bowled this week, obviously, medium pattern. How much do you think the lanes will change over the course of this game?
I think it's all relative as well, like how much they'll change for each team because of how they play the lanes. So I think the Korean team will actually probably see it change a little less because they're using the urethane balls, and it will change slowly. So I think that might be the same for the Sweden because most of their team is using urethane. Whereas the United States team might see it change quicker because they're using the reactive balls. So that's something to keep an eye on. What I've seen a lot, because I just bowled 3 games next to Korea, and it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
They set the 3-game record today.
Yeah,
and the 6-game record.
Well, the 3-game record for that last 3 games, neither their 4th guy or their 5th guy struck in the 10th frame any of the games.
Wow.
So they had plenty of room for more. But it's amazing how often they strike out in the 9th and 10th frames of games. If you look over the week, it's like they break it down, and then it gets to their spot, and then they know exactly what they're going to do. So we will see how it develops, for sure.
Well, Korea definitely without question, the strongest team in the field in the qualifying as they shatter the old 6-game record by more than 300 pins today.
Really?
More than 300 pins. There were quite a few teams that actually
Is
passed the record, but
is that the record for the men's World Championships or just the World Championships full stop?
is that what was the question again?
Well, because the records that I've seen some that are the men's World Championship records. Well, they didn't include when the championships were together.
Oh, no. It's all that is
okay.
Yeah, exclusively the men's world championships. Those records, courtesy of Herbert Bickle of Bowling Digital, and he's pretty good at keeping the stats. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is that 2 world championships or every world championships of all time?
Every men's world championship.
Oh, because some of the records are particularly low. Like before last year, the high game was only 1240, which seems pretty low, doesn't it? And then now it's not because Mexico got 1310, I believe. But
so our first look at Jason Belmonte for Australia. Australians had a couple of opens in the first frame. They're down by a couple of marks early on. Again, you're watching our semifinals here at the Men's World Championships.
See what Robert's going to do here.
Oh, there's a double.
Double for Sweden.
All 5 U.S. players strike in the first frame. Look at our nice crowd here today. Once again, both semifinals are going on at the same time. So it's a little bit much to keep track of, but we'll do our best to keep you updated on both matches as we go along here. Mike Fagan, silver medal in the all events today.
He bowled fantastically in the trios as well.
Yeah, bowled 268 the last game to get that silver today. We didn't see the messenger come across, but he gets it.
I think it's important for Sweden that their 2 guys, their 3 middle guys in the team get settled early because they're the ones with less experience in these matches. Even Martin Paulson, a world gold medalist in doubles, doesn't have anywhere near the experience of Martin or Robert in these situations. So that'll be interesting to see.
There's our all events gold medalist, Choi Bak-room, as he releases a fury of screams after that strike.
Or as I now refer to him, the daddy.
He's won a ridiculous number of medals in World Championship competition. Chris Barnes keeps the start perfect for the U.S. Right, so far they're all over Sweden early on here in this match. You can look at the live scoring if you want to keep up to date with the scoreboards. We've got a scoreboard camera on the U.S. and Sweden. We'll show it to you occasionally as we can. But again, both matches going on at the same time. USA versus Sweden, Korea versus Australia. The winners to meet for the gold medal.
Wow. When he gets 10, it's not soft, is it, Joachim Carlsen?
Now Bill O'Neill up now trying to maintain the perfect start for Team USA. And he leaves his 7th pin.
So we'll just have a quick rundown of the bowling balls as I see them from the outside. It appears that Fagan's using the Prodigy, Chris Barnes is using the EPX.
Tough break on that pin for Jaden Lemming.
Bill O'Neill's using the Pivot. Sean Rash is using... I'm not sure from this angle. It's one of the... I think he's using... Is it the LT48, the Black Brunswick ball? And then TJ is using, I think, the Badass. On Sweden, we have, I think, 4 Pitch Blacks, and then Joachim Carlsen's using the Mad Antics. So that's
Pitch Black, the ball of choice, I guess.
For Team Sweden, yeah. That's for sure. It's helping them to control the break point on this 38-foot pattern.
There's a close look at right there.
Yeah, Martin Larson.
It's almost like the TV people can hear us in their truck. I don't think they can, but right on cue.
Maybe they're listening to the Lucas and Stu show.
Maybe. Martin Larson up now for Sweden. Close out the second frame for them. Gets a
solid
strike.
shot from Martin. I think we should have a bit of a mention about Martin's performance the last 2 World Championships. I mean, it's absolutely heartbreaking for him to come 4th in all events, two World Championships running. I mean, that
is tough.
It's the only event in the entire World Championships where 4th isn't 3rd.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because otherwise you share a bronze medal.
Every other event, including Masters,
yep,
4th is just as good as 3rd. But unfortunately for Martin, he keeps picking the wrong event because he was 5th in everything else, in singles and doubles as well.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Brendan Meads, Australia sends the
just in front.
Messenger in front of the 10 pin. We see that a lot this week. We talked about it in the singles, but you see it quite a bit. The Messenger's going way in front of the 10 pin, as you mentioned last time.
And you're begging for it, but it's just not wanting to play ball.
Hey, Tommy Jones. USA can put 4 doubles on the board to start this game. Sweden had a perfect frame.
Oh, carrying everything.
And so let's take a look at the scoreboard for you. It is Sweden on the left and the U.S. on the right. Pretty early lead for the United States.
53 pins already.
Yeah, it's opened up pretty quick.
And Australia have actually been quite fortunate here that Korea haven't capitalized on their strikes so much, because Australia haven't got off to the best start with only 2 strikes and 4 spares out their first 10 shots.
Anderson's been a bright spot early for Sweden, working on a double. Oh, big 4 split right through the face.
There is the commentator's curse from Lucas Wiseman.
Never fails. George Ferlingos would be proud. He's been giving me stuff all week on Twitter about that.
That's his USA bias coming through.
Don't worry, I jinx all players equally, including the U.S. players.
Well, you know, Mike Fagan's only 10 strikes away from 300. Let's see how
so
well I can do it for him.
So here's Mike Fagan working on a double. to start off the third frame for the U.S. And he almost 7-10 split and leaves the 10 pin. Fair enough for you?
I'm still a rookie at this game. I've got to do all I can for my European brothers over there.
Takes one. Does Robert Anderson. Let's take a look over at the other match real quick. As
Kim's just going to run the spare down, I would think.
a couple of spares on the board right now for each team. Slow start for Australia. Just 2 strikes so far. But they're lucky that the Koreans really haven't pushed away.
It's kind of strange how the Koreans view it. They've actually, I would say they've got their best 3 players as their first 3 players in the lineup.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier as well. You would think that Choi would bowl the anchor position, but as he misses, the spare completely does Sam Cooley. But they must feel comfortable. Who's to argue with them after setting the record by
I also
by
think
300
that
pins.
it has its own merit, because if you put your best bowlers out first and they all strike, then it's much easier to get a spare when you know you only need a spare than it is to get one when you need, you need a double and you don't get that. You know what I mean? Because you always, no matter what you are, you always put the most pressure on yourself to get exactly what you're supposed to get.
Belmo did not like that. He's lucky it's just an 8-pin.
So maybe they figure we'll just finish the game early and then those guys can coast it along.
Yeah, I guess you kind of look at it that way. You put the game away in the first 3 bowlers of the 10th frame. Maybe that's the best way to take the pressure off your other guys. Chris Barnes, and he leaves a split.
I've had Mrs. Fagan tweet me and tell me that was naughty and I should stop that. And Belmo's missed as well.
Belmo missed it.
That's his second missed single pin in a row, because he actually missed the 7 pin in the last game when they were bowling with us in the 9th frame.
It's kind of turned into a dreadful start for Australia. 4 opens in 2 frames, including 2 missed makeables.
Oh, another double for Sweden. I'm trying to make some moving back. Wow. Sounds like there's a lot of oohs and ahs. So where are we at right now? Korea are currently leading by 60 now after that John Woo Park triple.
Oh, you're just tuning in. You're watching live coverage of the 2014 World Bowling Men's Championships here on Bowl TV. A nice wide look here at the Khalifa International Bowling Center. As Jesper Svensson
with the dance moves.
You can tell the players are kind of into this, aren't they? Feeding off the crowd a little bit, having some fun.
The Swedish guys have what I think you Americans term body English.
Yeah.
They have a bit of that going on.
A little bit of swagger.
Yeah.
You might say. And Sweden's doing a nice job this frame of pretty much getting things a little bit closer. And
I wish I got $5 every time Bill O'Neill struck and shook his head. I'd be a rich, rich man.
Choi sends the pin across and doesn't take out the 7. Do us a favor, tell your friends, and as Stu would say, your mates, or maybe that's the Aussies say that, your blokes, to tune in to the live streaming. Post the link, bowl.com/bowltv or youtube.com/bowltv. Almost 1,400 people watching right now. I'd love to see that number over 1,000 or 3,000 today. I think we got a chance to get there.
That frame's turned around pretty quickly.
It did.
Sweden all doubled up after Robban's split, so they've got an 8-line running for the guys who bowl league with pencil. Back in the day, what would be termed an 8-line. Sean Rash with a nice shot there to make it a 3-bagger for him to start.
We got a nice tweet in. I'm not going to lie, this is pretty sweet. Francesca Thomas watching the live streaming on the dash in her car. That's pretty nice.
Probably quite illegal as well.
Maybe illegal, but pretty smooth. I'm going to retweet that, actually, because I think that's pretty cool.
So what he's saying, Cheska, is that Lucas wants to be as cool as you.
Yeah, exactly right. I would like to have that car, that's for sure.
Mike Fagan looks very dapper on Jason Overstreet's wall there, doesn't he?
Tommy Jones.
3 in a row for Tommy Jones.
So front 3 for Sean Rash and Tommy Jones as the frame comes to a close. We're going to take you over to the scoreboard here in just a moment. So
that leads down to 26.
Yep, Sweden on the left, U.S. on the right as we take a look at the scoreboard. As Stu tells you, lead down to 26 for the U.S. You can follow the live scoring if you would like to see the scores for Korea and Australia. Here's Australia. Gets the break on the strike there. We go over to Mike Fagan now. 9 spare to start for Fagan. Fagan almost splits 2-pin.
There's a lot of oohs and ahs, isn't there, every time they hit the head pin.
That's good. That's the way it should be. Got an engaged crowd for sure. Oh, rolls the 3 forward, does Hung. That's a nice break.
It doesn't look like this is coming quite off it as hard as it was doing for the Korean lefties right now. So is that a 2-pin for Robert Anderson as well?
Looks like it, yeah. We're seeing a lot of 2-pins and 3-pins.
We don't have the best viewing angle for the people.
We do not.
It's very selfish. They put 10 bowls in the seating area and then the commentators can't see.
We try to stay out of the way as much as we can. Still have a long ways to go here. It's a bit of a marathon in the team event. Each game takes a while, and we're only in the 4th frame between the U.S. and Sweden, and closing out the 3rd frame between Korea and Australia. Not too many fireworks in this Korea-Australia game just yet. Chris Barnes up now.
Another nice shot by Chris.
3 out of 4 strikes to start this game for Chris Barnes.
Do you think...
There's the replay for Chris.
The Koreans have a few nerves after last year when they were in exactly the same position and they didn't really close the deal against Finland.
Yeah, I know they desperately want to win the gold. Australia, Belmo was asking when the last time Australia, if they had ever won a gold medal in the 5-player team, and we look back in 1979 in Manila, Philippines was the last time Australia won the golden team. Martin Paulson's turned it up a notch here after a shaky start, 3 in a row for him.
I believe that 2003 was the last time Sweden won. And then, when was the last time Korea won?
I don't. According to Herbert, they have not won a gold medal in the team event. Let's look that up.
Wow.
Bill O'Neill with a double. Here.
To give you an idea of their dominance, Lucas has just tapped Korea into his spreadsheet.
Comes up 63 times.
63 times their name comes up. That's a few.
It's going to take a while to go through this here.
Oh, comes up a little bit high with the reactive ball there for Joachim Karlsson.
Well, it's all the men and the women combined in this sheet.
Yeah.
The women have won a couple of times.
Against USA as well a couple of times.
Finished second
in Thailand. I remember that. Patrick and Rhino were going the last 2 and they had the tie, didn't they?
They did. Rhino did the roll-off. And won.
That almost seems like, with the way that we do things now, that should have almost been a win for Korea because they knocked over they were the high seed. It should be like the Ryder Cup. You have to beat the defending champions.
Let's see. That looks like women's. They won a lot of women's team events.
Nope. You've gone all the way around.
Yeah. So
they've got at least a couple of seconds.
Yep. Kind of surprising, though. They've been so dominant over the last decade or so.
Well, I think it's funny. I think that they were coming second and third a lot, and then they changed the rules, and they've led a lot, but they haven't won in the matches. So And I guess the more times they don't win,
Sean
the
Rash,
harder
front
it
four.
becomes.
U.S. building a little bit of a lead now again.
Yeah.
Picked up a couple doubles this frame. Open frame for
Joachim
Sweden.
Carlsen.
So
He didn't convert the 3-6-10.
look at some of the members of the crowd here inside
And,
Khalifa International Bowling Center.
Shin is going up.
Not a great shot. Really slow start in that match. Aside from Park, there's not a whole lot going on in that match. He's the only one getting strikes. That's
There
a
he
great
is.
strike. Jesper Svensson,
The Swedish Belmo.
front four.
Using the natural pearl. I do beg everybody's pardon earlier. Yeah, he isn't using... Pitch black's too strong for him. That's for the long. He recently won his first PBA regional title at South Point.
Wow.
After the World Series. He won the big regional there.
Yeah, Jesper bowled really well in Hong Kong at the World Youth as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Jones looking to stay perfect to start. Leaves a 7-pin.
He also did the thing that all non-Finnish people should be most proud of in the whole world.
What's
he
that?
won the Ballmaster Open Championship.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I think Pangnepa Messina won it in 1985. And to this day, there's only 3 other non-Finnish people who've won it. I might be one out there, but I think it's 3 or 4.
That's a big tournament, too.
Yeah, huge. A very nice bowling center. Perhaps the second, I nickname it the second hardest tournament in the world to win after the US Open. Because the Finnish guys in their own backyard is not a walk in the park for sure.
There's a look at the scoreboard. Sweden on the left, the USA on the right. Tommy Jones made that spare. So we head into the 5th frame here. 29-pin lead for the U.S., it looks like. Oh, look at that. 5-pin goes late. And that's a double for Korea. That was an exciting strike. We caught just the last second of it. And wow, they're getting fancy on the Abu Dhabi TV here. We've got a split screen going on. Mike Fagan.
Oh, very nice.
Approach on the left, face on the right. Something new. We haven't seen that
It's like
yet.
a pretty nice shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brendan Meads with a strike, and that's a double, and that is the first double that Australia has had, and we are halfway through the 4th frame.
But, like you were saying earlier, Korea haven't really punished them for their slow start. I mean, granted, there is a bit of a gap, but it's not as gargantuan as you would expect.
Here's Robert Anderson. Not a great shot there.
Robert's
Leaves
really
the baby
struggling
split.
now.
Got off to such a good start.
Well, he threw one
Got the
good
double
shot.
and-
He almost tripped over himself and went Brooklyn the first frame, and then got a decent shot, and now he's struggling. Kim with a nice shot there.
Get the feeling Korea might get it going here
Yeah.
pretty soon.
They don't tend to start games that fast. But once they get going, it's like a freight train.
That one started to hook early on Barnes. Leaves the 4-pin.
For one of the first times, he's really looked like he struggled to keep up with the moves in the team event today. You don't usually see that with Chris. He's usually somewhat the leader on the team, telling the guys, we need to be making these moves. This is how the lane's breaking down. But the game we bowled next to him, he looked quite lost. I was quite surprised.
Open frame. Second open for Robert Anderson here in this game through 5 frames.
It's a big couple of shots coming up here. The Swedish team really need Martin Paulson to step up big here with a good shot.
Feels like none of the teams have really settled in yet. It's just kind of,
Well-
we're just kind of
Well, Barnes
grinding it
aside,
out here.
USA have had
Yeah.
a pretty stellar start.
got some. The bottom 3 players have been pretty good, but
Oh.
Sweden's got a couple of guys who are potentially can extend their strings here. Here's one of them, Martin Paulson. And he goes through the face, 4-6. It just doesn't feel like we're going to have some of the higher scores that we had earlier today, where teams were pushing 1,200, and it's
I don't know. My boys from Korea, I think.
You think they can still get there?
Yeah, because I've watched this show before, and it's pretty much started every time like this, and then it's been like.
There's Belmo with a ring 10. Bill O'Neill didn't like it. Leaves a 3-6.
Oh. It's kind of strange because Bill's ball actually, that was quite a big miss. Because I imagine that he just tried to make the change because his ball's been going pretty light every time. And I've made that shot 15, 25 times this week where you just try to, I'll just make it hook a little bit more. 6.
Belmo putting on a little show as he is excited he finally made a spare.
Belmo blew a fan in the crowd a kiss after after he screamed, "We love you, Jason." I think he's breaking a few hearts in the crowd right now. Joachim Carlson. I think that was probably a flat 10 by his reaction.
Leaves the 10. And let's flip over here to David Porto for Australia.
I asked Frawley whether it was confusing as to what to nickname him because everybody in Australia, they just had an O to the end of his name, and his name finishes Porto. So is he called Porto O? Is that his nickname? Frawley said it's always awkward, so we'll go with Davo. Jangwoo Park extends to a 5-bagger. Nice shot again from Sean Rash.
Choi got that one wide, and look at it come across the messenger for the strike and the double, and the freight train's gathering momentum. Look out. Unfortunately, it looks like Australia is in the path.
Yeah. At least they can still see the train.
Barely at this point. It's the light at the end of the tunnel is getting dimmer and dimmer for Australia. They've really got to get stuff going here, or they're going to be in a deep hole hurry, it looks like. Over to Jesper Svensson from Sweden.
Oh.
We just seem to have seen more errant shots than we did in the team event early on here. A lot of going high, a lot of splits, and it felt like the teams had a lot more momentum in the games.
Yeah.
We sat here and watched a lot of big scores today on this medium pattern. No doubt, I think we're still going to have a good finish, though.
I mean, there's a lot of things that can contribute to that. Like, as an example, a lot of the high scores were down the low end, and they started all at the low end. So those lanes have been left to settle for a lot longer than they have now. So I'm no expert in it, but from what people tell me, that has a significant effect. And of course, pressure does funny things to people. You know, it's only natural that, you know, when you're playing for a gold medal for your country, that you're going to start to feel a bit of the pressure, and it's not as easy when you're playing on a demanding pattern like this to, you know, throw the perfect shot every time. And
yeah, I had somebody ask me on Twitter a couple of days ago, which of the two patterns this week would you compare most to a house shot? And I said neither. I said, while you may see high scores on these patterns, they're not easy. They're challenging.
Just check out mine and Dom's scores.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm pretty good on a house shot. I averaged 245 on a house shot.
People forget.
I shot 245 like 3 times this week.
People forget this is the best of the best, and they can make the hardest patterns look pretty easy sometimes.
Although Dom did comment about the third frame that Korea looked like they were in for Friday Night League, and the only thing they didn't have was the beers at the back. And then they proceeded to shoot a league score.
Yeah, pretty much. But we've come to expect that out of Korea over the years. They're a very solid squad.
I think until you come to one of these championships, you can't quite really understand how good they are, can you? You know what I mean? When you watch them, it's very difficult to explain to someone quite how dominant they can be as a team and how they can, they work as a team and they, I did notice this week that the coach has been a lot less in the area with them this time. It's been the players who have more been making their own decisions rather than, having a coach be really down there with them. Which is a little bit different from, previous times.
Yeah, another errant shot there from Robert Anderson. Yeah, the Koreans are a lot more relaxed and having fun, and it's some coaching changes have helped contribute to that a little bit. There's a split for Kim.
He's lucky they're in the new regime.
All right, starting off the 6th frame. Let's see what the difference is in this match, Stu. Maybe we can do some quick math.
70.
Yeah, because Sweden had 3 opens last frame.
80 now, in fact.
Belmo just struck, but it's been a slow start for Australia in this game.
It's actually sad to say, but Sweden would actually be in a better spot if they were playing Korea right now than the spot they're in.
Let's figure out the difference here in the Korea-Australia match at this point as they wrap up the 5th frame, Stu.
100.
Yeah.
101. Korea have a 6 line.
Look at the messenger. It tickled the 10 pin that time.
Yeah.
Matt likes when I use the word tickled.
But there is a little bit of hope for Australia. They have 3 strikes out of their 4 marks, so their comeback's got to start somewhere. So.
Yep. And Korea didn't exactly put the hammer down on the last couple of players.
Hello.
Wow, that's way right for Martin Paulson.
If Park and Choi decide that they're going to strike now, it's not going to be ideal.
Take a look at Park.
Oh, no. He grabbed a little bit too much of that one through the nose. We had an interesting debate, a couple of us. Who's the best under 25 in the world? Marshall Kent or Park Jong-woo?
That's tough.
It's
this week, Park.
Well, I actually said that I think in this environment, I think that Park's probably better and probably overall, because we haven't seen Park in the other environments, then we probably have to lean towards Marshall. But in this environment, I mean, he's pretty impressive.
He has been pretty spectacular, and he had a great Asian Games as well.
Yes, I think he won 3 medals at the Asian Games. So 3 gold medals, I think someone said as well. So
Bill O'Neill. Nice shot. So the U.S. is up about 80 pins or so, and looks like Korea's up around about 100. Both matches kind of in the same vicinity. The U.S. and Korea both leading by pretty good amounts after 6 frames, but there's still a long way to go here. Great crowd. You can see everybody filled in all the bleachers. Not a seat to be had back here behind us inside the Khalifa International Bowling Center. Choi.
If Sean Rash was to strike here, he'd extend the lead to 100 for USA at the 6th frame.
So both matches would be in that 100 pins range.
Mm-hmm.
On the north side of 100.
And we'd be kind of leaning towards what we were thinking. A USA-Korea showdown. East
front
versus
6
West.
Now. Yeah.
Should we go into the Rocky montage?
Yeah, we don't have that ready just yet. No, it would set up a great final for sure, no matter who makes it. But the way it's going at this point, which we still have 4 frames to go, and that's an eternity in these team games.
It's funny. Shin's been really struggling this week in the games that have really come down to it. Didn't really bowl quite as well as he would have liked in the doubles. He bowled a 170 the last game of trios. He's really been struggling to bowl a good game. I don't really know what, it's hard because they bowl so differently from everybody else to know, whether he's throwing bad shots or his reaction's just a little bit off. But it just seems like he can't quite get what he's looking for the rest of the time, because I think he finished 7th or 8th in all events, so it's not like he's had a bad week. He's been fantastic. Martin Larson just changed to a reactive ball there, I think. I only just caught the end of that shot, but it looks like he changed to the high road.
Well, a couple of back-to-back opens for Australia, and things falling apart quickly for them.
Yeah. And as Herbert told me, I don't know whether you were privy to this information, that since they changed this playoff format, 4th place is the place to be.
Kind of figured that based on all the tournaments that I've gone to where the 4th place team or player has won the gold medal. Did he have a stat on it, or had he figured it out yet?
He said that it was a significant advantage to 4th.
Sure seems like it. There's a split for Hong.
I also think that sometimes. Oh,
actually, did it break it up?
No,
scored it as 9. Okay.
It needs the score change. I think sometimes as well, though, the top seed gets a little bit too focused in on, well, we do this good. And sometimes you're the better team because you were better on everything, not because you were better on one particular pattern. And sometimes you're better to take what the other team's not as good at. I mean, I think last year was a pretty good example of that when USA picked the medium pattern against Finland, and the USA team was far superior to Finland on the short pattern, but chose medium, and then, I mean, it ended up being not so pretty for the US team. So I can't see Korea saying, yeah, we'll pick long if they make the final against USA. Mike Fagan with another good shot there. I think only 2 of the US guys made the top 24 this week. Did Bill O'Neill sneak in the last game?
Yep, Bill O'Neill got in at the end, so 3 made it in. Masters tomorrow, 9 a.m.
That has to be one of the lower amounts of guys getting through for a while for the US team. They've been pretty dominant at the last few championships. I mean, 4 or 5 each time, I think.
Sparns with a strike.
And with the new Masters format, probably won't be seeing Bill in the top 8.
Yeah,
that's a long way to come back.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is between 8th and 24th, but let's see. 54-10 and 52-37. So
I mean, Bill's got
6 games,
170 pins. That's and it isn't like it's 170 pins to one guy. He's 160 pins behind, or 150 pins behind the guy who's 12th. So it is,
Well, not as many fireworks as we kind of expected in the.
Maybe they're saving them for the finals.
Maybe.
I mean, USA are bowling extremely
bowling well, exactly.
They're spoiling it for everybody else.
Yeah. They are kind of cruising along right now as the lead continues to grow for.
Soon it's going to get to the point where it's just not even worth calculating the amount.
Belmo with a double. Not many doubles out there for Australia. This game, only 2 doubles the whole game. They are down pretty big.
110.
Yep. It's 4 frames to go.
I think that they kind of knew they were already in a bit of trouble. Like, not necessarily trouble, but it was an uphill battle to get there.
Yeah.
And I think they were just ecstatic that they'd managed to get this far, so to speak.
David Porto for Australia. Through the face. Certainly shaping up to be a U.S. versus Korea final at this point. Someone asking if Jesper Svensson should not be considered for among the top under 25s. Brought that up earlier.
He's not really got the resume of the other guys.
He's starting to build it, but
yes.
Yeah. got some work to do.
Plus, I'm a member of the IHL club, so for me to recognize a left-hander is going to be significantly better than the right-hander.
We love right-handers and left-handers equally here on Bowl TV. Sean Rash, I don't want to get any angry emails.
Hello. One of my favorite bowlers in the whole world is bowling right in front of me here. Choi Bakun. Yeah. It's
hard not to like him, and like his passion and his excitement and his energy.
Absolutely incredible.
Yep.
If you want to talk to me about left-handers, be like him, and I'll definitely be giving you props because he's incredible.
Over to Jesper Svensson. Leaves the 7-pin. And here's Choi. Asking the late hit to carry, but it doesn't.
I guess he overheard me. It was too much pressure being my favorite bowler. I thought it was very funny. He was bowling on lane 3, and a guy walked out by the cameraman at the end of the lane, so on the side of lane 1, just as he was about to let go of the ball. And the guy was, oh no, I walked out on him. And Choi struck, and he put the thumbs up to the guy and just smiled at him and sort of bounced back like he was. And I thought to myself, I'm not sure me or some of my fellow PBA guys would have had the same reaction to that guy just barging through a door as we were about to let go of the ball.
Choi trying to clean up the spare here, and he does. Nice look inside Khalifa International Bowling Center here in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. If you're just joining us, this is the
Tommy
team
Jones.
semifinals. Gold medal match coming up next.
Very nice shot.
At this point, looks like it's going to be USA versus Korea, but we've still got some frames to go.
Sweden have pretty much run out of time.
They're not really stringing any strikes together here, and the U.S. is bowling quite well. Messenger was pretty far in front of the 10 on that for Martin Larson. As we flip over and take a look at Brendan Meads.
Yeah, they're more than 130 behind now.
Which match?
Sweden are more than 130 behind, and then Australia are only 100 now. I say that a little tongue-in-cheek, only 100, but
No, 100 is not that overcome. You can overcome that in 3.5 frames, but I don't know that I'd want to be bowling Korea and having to accomplish that that task for sure.
especially when, almost every, only one of their other players has got a double except Belmont. They've only got, and they've just thrown
Another split.
another open because it's a 2-8-10. That's pretty unlikely to be spared. So. It's got a little bit flat in here now, hasn't it?
It has.
Just a little bit because the games are kind of
Yep.
just meandering.
But they're giving away tickets to see the WWE a little bit later when it's coming to Abu Dhabi in February. So that's got a lot of fans excited and waiting for the big drawing at the end of the night.
Can I get in that?
You gonna come all the way back to Abu Dhabi to see the WWE?
I'll be back here in February anyway.
Oh, well, there you go.
So if it's at the right time, that would be good.
Fagan. That's another strike for him. 4 in a row.
Mike has bowled fantastically well this week, especially since, once we got into the team events, he's bowled very, very nicely.
So another open for the Aussies. Just doesn't seem like it's meant to be for them today. And we haven't shown you the scoreboard in quite a while in the U.S.-Sweden match, so here you go. Kind of tells the story, I suppose. Especially if the U.S. pops a couple of strikes here. Sweden's already in big trouble, and I think they kind of know it already. The way the body language. The Swedes like to get pumped up and make some noise, but they really haven't had the opportunity.
The only thing that's a little surprising is that Chris really is still struggling. He really looks lost. Whereas the rest of the team looks pretty comfortable with what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Chris is...
Belmo with another strike. Well, I don't know if that's going to make the decision tough for Rod Ross in the next round. I wouldn't think so. It'll depend on what Korea picks for the pattern, but They will have the opportunity, if they choose to switch the lineup up for the gold medal.
I think there's more chance of me weighing 12 stone than there is of Korea picking long.
I would say that 90% of our audience doesn't know what 12 stone is, so you have to...
There's
would that be
there's 14
the equivalent?
pounds in a stone. So that would be significantly less than 200 pounds.
Yeah, well, that's not
And
happening.
there's
for either of us.
and there's more chance of us both weighing under 200
Yep.
than there is for Christmas, that is, than there is of Korea picking the long pan.
Okay, there you go. So,
I'll drop
yeah,
dead before they pick the long pan.
I would agree with that. Look at the replay here for Carlson.
And that's not to say they wouldn't win if they chose the long pan. They're just not going to pick it.
Bill O'Neill looking for 3 strikes in a row. Well, it's been a bit anticlimactic so far, hasn't it? It's not really been. We haven't.
If
really
this
had
was
good
golf,
matches.
we'd have been able to stop and just start the next start the finals.
Close, but not quite. Yeah, I get what you're saying. There's kind of a couple of blowouts thus far.
I almost feel like they should have all asked all the teams what would you pick if you won. Well, we'd pick medium. We'd pick medium. We'd pick. All right, we'll just all the lane now, and then we don't have to mess around with it.
Yeah, that's true. They could have. Here's a replay of that last shot by Sean Rash. He struck, slid that 4-pin across. Well, you have to think Sweden's got to be a bit disappointed with the effort.
Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult that you bowl 6 games of 5-man team, and you're the second team, and then the only thing that isn't quite so bad for them is, in real terms, is there really that much difference between a silver medal and a bronze medal? To me, I mean, people out there might tell me I'm wrong, but to me, it's a gold medal or it's a medal. And thankfully for them, they didn't lead and then play this one game and lose, because that's the thing that really sucks.
Yeah, it's, pretty much, if you're not going to come here to win gold, then why are you here at all? And
yeah, but the thing is
wants
to
that
medal
gold
is really cool, really cool.
Yeah.
But I think, in my mind, I think a lot of the other bowlers, we gold medal or we medal. And that's just the way it kind of is. Especially now we've gone to this matches format as well.
Well, just a couple of frames to go. The U.S. up significantly. I don't even know that we need to do the math at this point. It's
8, 5, 30 on top. So 170.
Yeah. It's a pretty sizable lead for the U.S. with 2 frames left.
They almost won't need to bowl the 10th frame. Is how many it is to give a golf analogy.
A couple of doubles now for Australia, so at least they're starting to strike a little bit. Most probably
they're still
too little, too
95
late.
behind.
Yep. It's a bit closer than Sweden is to the U.S., but still.
Yeah.
And if Korea steps up in here and goes strike, and close out the 8th frame, lead grows, and they just got the first one there.
Shin just got his double, so maybe that'll be the start of him being a little bit more relaxed for the final.
Final coming up immediately after we finish here. They'll have a re-oil. The top seed picks the pattern. That would be Korea, assuming they advance, and they'll get to pick which one they want to pick. And as Stu says, it will be the medium pattern. They probably should have just gone ahead and oiled 9 and 10 with the medium pattern, because then you have a 50-50 chance of whether you're going to be right.
Yeah. And the pattern will have had more time to settle and everything else, but But then we wouldn't get to see Gus's nice booty walking back and forth and pressing the button.
We'll get to see the flex machine in action here. Well, Korea just doesn't seem to want to put this thing away, do they? Big split for Hong. Australia's hanging in there. I mean, best you can.
I'm almost a little surprised that I don't see their 6th bowler. Do you see the Korean 6th bowler?
No.
Because he shot 725 this morning.
Belmo with a split. That's tough. But I think Belmo knew that he really needed to keep striking to keep the Aussies to have a chance. Yeah, I only see 5 bowlers for Korea and the coach, so I don't know if the other bowler is sitting back here behind us somewhere in the stands, or I don't know.
He's been banished.
Yeah.
I mean, the U.S. They're putting on a pretty much of a show over there, by the way, Lucas. Chris Barnes aside, the low man right now, going into the 10th.
Oh, Belmo makes the split, delights the crowd a little bit.
258 right now is the low game going into the 10th. The max, I mean, for the US.
Yeah.
Chris Barnes aside, it's a pretty amazing performance. Mike Fagan can shoot 268. Bill O'Neill 258. Sean Rush 277. Tommy Jones 266.
Well, they're going to bowl a big game, but it doesn't feel like a big game for some reason, and maybe that's just because they're not really getting any pressure.
Just going through the motions because they're so much ahead.
And they're just kind of striking through it here, and the U.S. is easily going to advance to bowl for the gold medal coming up in just a little bit. Stu's doing the math, but it's a lot. It's got to be over 200 by now.
No, I was seeing quite high how high the U.S. team could go.
Oh, gotcha.
They could still shoot 1270. That's where I was interested by as to whether they could whether they still had a chance to break the record, but they don't. I actually bowled against Mexico at the last championships when they did that, and I went 9 miss in the 9th frame, and if I'd have struck that shot, Team England on the same pair would have broke the previous record.
Oh, really?
So that pair was obviously pretty nice for both of us. Yeah, I think we shot 1220, and they shot 1309. So smooth 530 over for one game for the game.
Well, as we're in the 9th frame now, Stu, do we sit any closer in this Australia-Korea match at this point as well?
No.
Not anymore. David Porto just missed a single pin, so it's been a tough game for him.
It's actually the gap's quite big now.
Yeah.
The gap might be 150 now, give or take with what Jaden does here.
Well, it's not a lot of drama so far. Maybe we're saving the drama for the gold medal match, and it's coming up in just a few minutes. So be sure to stand by. Go back over and watch Jaden bowl here. Gets the strike, 3 in a row. Over to Martin Larson. Like we said, both teams just going through the motions in that U.S.-Sweden match. It's over. The U.S. is going to win and bowl for the gold.
I'd be quite interested to see if Korea make any alterations with quite how they're seeing the lane or doing some things, because they're not really bowling that good of a score here.
They are not. But they haven't also been pressed too much either.
No, but their ball's hooking a lot earlier than it was previously. So I'm just wondering whether they're going to make any alterations or just go, it was that pair, it didn't matter, let's move on and beat America.
Crowd's pretty out of it now at this point.
USA are in exhibition mode at the minute.
Yep.
I think Mike could throw it through his legs and he'd probably strike. Way.
I mean, I imagine that
Robert just threw it halfway down the lane and hooked it the whole lane, and the crowd didn't even go. Way. I think Rod Ross and Nick cheered louder for him than the crowd did. Yep. Here goes Fagan again.
well, you think Korea is definitely going to pick the medium pattern.
Yeah.
And,
Fagan rolls the 10 out.
I would guess that the fact that the U.S. is going to bowl 1,200 on the pattern shouldn't impact their decision, because I would guess the Koreans are confident enough on that pattern that they could feel they could probably beat anybody.
If if I just bowl 560 over,
Yep.
I probably wouldn't let one game worry. It actually might make them even more determined to pick it because the Americans have got their good game out of the way.
Well, we're going through the motions here. Looks like it's going to be a Korea versus U.S. final coming up immediately following these semifinals. There's going to be a re-oil, and then we'll get started with the final. Nice game for Fagan. 268, 9 spare, 9 spare in the third and fourth. Other than that, all strikes.
There you go, Emily. I stopped picking on him. He struck out.
And the good news is no flipping back and forth here in just a few minutes because there's only going to be one match going on.
Chris trying a different ball. I think he's just changed the meltdown.
Yeah, maybe he's,
he's
thinking
struck.
ahead.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's going to be low on the team by quite a bit, looks like.
40, maybe.
Depending on how hard the U.S. presses in the 10th frame here.
Oh,
I would imagine
they'll press pretty hard.
He'll try to get some
Especially as it's Chris who's the low man. They won't let him forget that.
I want to stomp on him a bit. See what Chris does here. Second shot in the 10th. After
He's
the
actually
ball
struggled
change.
most of the day.
That looks pretty
That
good,
was a
actually.
pretty nice shot.
Yeah. He's thinking, why didn't I throw that before? There's Belmo. Everybody likes to watch Belmo, so here you go. And that's why people like to watch Belmo. He's already congratulating Korea as he knows that this thing is just a matter of what the final score is going to be. Korea up by 120 plus pins. 124 it looks like.
Oh, Chris is trying another one. Oh, and that one strikes
again.
too.
Oh, big reaction out of Chris Barnes to try to get the people to Look at that. The crowd's going wild for him.
The USA are actually on 3-8. They're actually on a 14 bagger as we speak. So
great reaction out of Chris, though. Now Bill O'Neill steps up. Boy, it's just like they're machines right now, aren't they?
It on.
It's ridiculous how much they're striking all of a sudden here.
And Sweden's thinking to themselves,
can we just go home? Go
we
back to the
picked
hotel. Yeah.
What were we thinking?
They really just got run over in this match.
Yeah.
There's really no other way to put it. But Sweden bowled really great in the qualifying portion, and yeah, Sweden's a great bowling country as well. Probably one of the best in the world. Sweden, Finland, Korea. You know, I mean, you've got some good bowling countries, but Sweden is right there among the best. And every time Sweden's on live stream pairs, we can guarantee that we're going to get like 300 more viewers because they just bring a big fan base. So I know a lot of the Swedish fans
like
will be
when I'm on
disappointed.
commentary, you can guarantee you're going to get at least 4 more viewers. And the USA keep striking. 16 bagger as we speak.
Yeah, there's a lot of strikes in a row for the U.S.
And if it was, and the rest of the team.
There's the scoreboard if you want to see all the strikes for the U.S. just to get an idea.
So since the start of the 6th frame, the U.S. have missed once outside of Chris.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Because Bill O'Neill struck from the 5th frame. So's Fagan. Rash has had the 7th spare, and then
the crowd gives him a hard time for not striking on the fill ball.
I think Chris just said man on.
257 for Bill O'Neill.
If I know Chris, he's letting Bill know that was the beer for him.
Well, Australia is going to finish with a bronze medal, and I would guess that they might be pretty happy with that.
Ecstatic, I think, because I bowled the last game with them just then.
Yeah. That's a good result for them, I think. Obviously, it would have been a dream come true to make it into the gold medal match, but
we just saw right in front of us, Pekka Korpi just asked the Korean coach
which pattern.
He said medium.
Yep, you were right.
Yeah, I don't even really claim that as being right because it's so obviously going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, when you break the record and bowl such a huge score like they did.
I think it's this simple. Can use urethane, can't use urethane.
Yeah, they love to throw
We're
the
going to
urethane.
use the urethane.
Yep.
But having said that, USA have bowled 1,200 already with Tommy to bowl, and if they bowl that again, they're going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Well, Perttu Lusla from Finland told me earlier today. He said, the shorter the pattern goes, the more the Koreans like it. So no surprise that they will pick the shorter of the two patterns to bowl on for the final.
And it's funny because their team probably has the highest rev rate. So it's not traditional short pat.
985 for Sweden.
I just showed Tommy Jones the yellow card there because he gave the ball return a play tap.
So only 985 for Sweden.
For
The
the
U.S.
crowd.
going to be in the 1230s. So we wrap things up here in the semifinal gold medal match coming up next. So don't go too far.
That's a lot. 12.39 is a lot in a medal match. I mean,
Tough to beat.
it's a lot any time, but in a medal match, that's a lot.
Does it make it any easier for Sweden knowing that the U.S. shot such a huge score?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's never easy to lose, but
No. But I mean, what really sucks to lose is if they'd have shot 965 and USA had struggled to 1,000.
exactly. Those
When
are the
you
ones
lose-
that sting.
When you lose by almost 300 pins, you just got to tip your hat to the other team and go,
Yep.
nice work, boys.
1236 to 985. Final score, U.S. wins. And we're just going through the motions here as well to finish out. Pekka giving the official word to us that Korea has picked the medium pattern as predicted by Stu Williams. Went out on a limb on that prediction. Nice look at the crowd as they are ready to go for the... I'm not sure if they're ready for the gold medal match or the next drawing for WWE tickets. They're going to be sticking around to watch the final, though, hopefully. As we're just plugging away here. Last few shots coming up.
I was pretty convinced that Korea were going to win, but I haven't watched this game. Their boys haven't bowled very well here at all.
They have not.
I mean, Jungwoo Park and Choi aside, they're not going to get to 600, the bottom three.
Yeah. Yeah, they're looking at about 1060 or so this game, most likely.
Oh!
Gets it the hard way.
And walks it off like that was exactly what he meant.
Someone asks, is the next match pros against amateurs? I'm not sure that I would call the Koreans amateurs. They
It
bowl
depends.
for...
It's the PBA against the non-PBA.
I guess if you look at it that way, yes. But
they, for me, a professional is someone who makes their living from bowling for the sport. They definitely do that.
Yeah, they get some money, they get paid, they train, they work hard together. They pretty much bowl for a living.
I was about to say, to a large extent, if you were deeming what most people would call professional athletes.
Yeah.
Not to be disparaging towards the Americans or any of the other bowlers. The Koreans are probably the most professional team here.
And they've just brought out the drawing bin, so that's good news for the crowd. They're already on their feet waiting for the drawing as we finish things up here. Gold medal match coming up next here on Bowl TV. So we hope you'll join us.
There we go. The Koreans don't look particularly worried about the fact that they're only just about shooting 1080, do they?
Yeah.
They don't particularly look. They look like, oh well, that was the warm up done.
I mean, if I were Korea, I don't know that I would be too nervous either, given their track record and on the medium pattern today.
Well,
but
given
they've
their
got a
track
tough
record in medal matches.
Exactly, they've got a tough match.
They shouldn't be nervous.
like you said, if the U.S. shoots 12.36 again,
That's done.
going to be tough to beat. But they're going to a fresh pair. They're going to re-oil it, and I assume they're going to re-oil it.
Yes, I believe so.
I don't know that they already put the medium on there. Maybe they did. I would assume they're bringing out the machine, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to be bringing out the machine because Pekka came over and asked.
Yeah.
So I can't believe that Gus would have oiled it with medium if they still had to ask.
Yeah, it's hard to say unless he took a 50-50 shot at it, but I doubt that. So we will have a brief break, and then we'll get started with the gold medal match. But we get to watch Belmo finish it up.
Yay.
10.82 for Korea. Australia can get to 9.64. That's their max.
Yeah. When you want it to be over, but you have to throw those last few frames. Funnily enough, I felt like that for about the last last game today until Dom. We had a bet in our team. Low man had to buy the round of beers, but if we bowled 200, then the coach had to buy them if we all bowled 200. Well, we'd all bowled 200 except Matt Chamberlain going into the 10th frame, and Matt needed to spare the 10 pin. So John decided to go the Ric Flair route and be the dirtiest player in the game and start telling him that there was a round of beers on this pin and make sure he got it. And if he did get it, 7 wasn't a gimme. And then Matt double dribbled it and missed the spare. So
oh, Belmo throws it between the legs.
Two-handed between the legs.
Oh, goodness. 10.82 to 9.24, Korea wins. Belmo makes it a little exciting. So our gold medal match coming up next should be just a little bit of a break, and then we'll be back with the gold medal match, USA versus Korea. So stand by, back in a bit here on Bowl TV.
Danny!
And while you're eating, we're going to draw the second winner of WWE Wrestling Tickets. And the winner is Avelino, Lithuania.
김 감독. 여기서는 왜 여기서는 왜? 9번 10번이요. 회장님 9번 10번이요. 김치 아니시니까. ها ما حط الصبر اوقف
얘기했는데도 안 오네.
이거 조금 시작하겠네요. 이렇게 가면.
Excuse me, sir. You have to be back there.
I was kidding.
Man, powerful, but not that powerful.
사진 하나 찍었어요. Thank you, join me. I send this just to 경남사 앞에. 거기서 사진을 찍어주세요. 경남사. 오케이. 감사합니다. Okay. Of course.
Yes, Mr. Chow. He brought us out many times.
미팅이 잘 끝났어요? 두팀 다 준결승에서 일본이나 스웨덴이나 우리나 다
Bowlers, you can start with your practice.
그냥 네, 있어요. 정민이 마음이 편해져가지고.
I eat. Very good. Yes, very good. Thank you. Eat now half. This one Filipino.
조금만 스타트 어디서 할래? 누나 먹어. 야, 이거 콘체 하라고. 휴대폰 접어놓고 콘체 하라고. 주문해야지 그 전화기 만들고 있어. Bro, Korea or USA?
Yeah, she had a So I was like, well, look at it this way. Yes, we are going to spend another $400 in a year for a new phone. If we spend it and you get a new one, at least we've got something that's worthwhile in a year's time. But if you wait a year, that phone you got now will be worthless if you still spend $700. You know what I mean? So she didn't need me to use that. She's like, oh, fine. It was the new fridge that was big. We spent I think Tina's never seen it out. She had to measure the gap to make sure it wasn't going to stick out into the kitchen too. But yeah, it's one of those doors, you know, with the top line, front line, yeah, it was one of those deals where I took it, I was going to get, I found one that I liked, it was 1700, but of course, once I showed you the one that was at 28. No shit, the one that was 28. Never happened.
Did you eat? You okay?
We just have snacks. Thank you. Appreciate
Let me introduce the teams bowling in the finals of the team event for the World Men's Championship. Bowling on lane 7 from USA, Mike Fagan, Chris Barnes, Bill O'Neill, Sean Rash, and Tommy Jones. And bowling on lane 10 from Korea, Park Jong-woo, Chen Woo-oh, Shin Seong-yeon, Hong Hae-sol, and Park Hee-won. This is for the gold medal of the team event. Bowlers, once you're ready, you may start with your game. Good luck.
All right, ready to get started with our team gold medal match here at the 2014 World Bowling Men's Championships at the Khalifa International Bowling Center in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Lucas Wiseman from Bowl TV along with Stu Williams from Team England as we get started here. USA versus Korea, one-game match to determine the gold medal winner in this event. Korea has never won the team gold. The U.S. has won 3 of the last 4. And Stu, we expect a pretty good match here. USA bowled a pretty huge score in the semifinal on this same medium pattern. Korea, I would say, struggled. They shot about 1080. But do you give either team the edge here, or do you think this is just going to be kind of a knockdown, drag out, see what happens at the end?
Well, Korea have changed their lineup. Well, not the lineup. They've actually changed the player out. They've taken their anchor man Kim out, one of the more experienced players, and brought in Hee-won Kang, who sat out today but shot 720. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how that develops. And like we were talking about earlier, they really don't care who throws that last shot. I mean, Kim went out, Kang come in, Kang's the anchor. So we'll see. I think you've really got to favour the USA a little bit because, you know, they've got the hot hand, so to speak, right now, and probably their most versatile player on the team is the one who's struggling, so it's not a bad position to be in, is it, if Chris Barnes is the one in your team who's struggling. So I'd probably give a slight edge to USA, but I think if Korea get the strike train going, they strike in bunches, and they could make it pretty close. So overall, if I was forced to pick one team, I think I'd pick Korea because I just think this time it's their time to win. But I think USA are the favourites.
So there you go. That's Stu's analysis early on here as we get started. A pretty loud crowd. I have to turn down the crowd mic here as we asked them before they started who the crowd was cheering for most, and Korea overwhelmingly was the favorite of the crowd here.
But Rod Ross and Nick just went out to try and curry favour and threw Team USA pins into the crowd to try and steal back some of that Filipino support.
Yeah, it's a lot of Filipinos here in the crowd who are watching today. We've got a great crowd of bowling fans here today at the Khalifa International Bowling Center, and there's a nice strike. So we're just in the first frame of our team gold medal match here in Abu Dhabi. Bill O'Neill, Team USA, with a strike. Do us a favor and post the link to the live stream on your Facebook and your Twitter. Maybe Stu will even do that to get some more people to tune in and watch. You can post the link to bowl.com/bowltv as Stu takes his phone out of his pocket right now to alert the world that he is on the live stream. The energy level pretty high early on here in this match between the U.S. and Korea. These two teams have met before, and I'm sure that they will meet again in the future. Sean Rash 3-6-10 in his first frame. Again, post the link to the live stream on your Facebook and Twitter. And oh, there's a 2-4-8-10 for Kang to start. And he's the one they put in as the sub from the last match. So not a great start for Hee-Won Kang. He leaves the big split.
Yeah, it looked like that was his problem in practice, that his ball wasn't really coming around the corner, and then the last shot of practice he really made one come around the corner. I thought he'd kind of fixed it, but he still looks like he's struggling a little bit. Like I say, they just view the anchor spot differently. They're like, who cares who goes last? It's no different.
It's almost like they flip it, like or pretty close to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Put the best players at the top. Tommy pitches that one pretty far right, and look at that. Gets the strike.
TJ's got the strut going on. That
Yes,
looked like
it does.
2004 TJ right there. When he had hair. Oh, more hair than he has now.
Sometimes in these finals we see some strutting and some gamesmanship and some yelling and screaming, and we're going to see some of that later if this thing is really close at the end. The Koreans like to yell it up a little bit. And the Americans can get fired up too. Oh, look at this. Park Jong-woo with the messenger.
That ball is the ABS Patriot. Never seen one before.
Never even heard of it.
He said he'd never seen one before until he saw it in a bowling center in Korea, and he told the guy, "Can I have it?" And the guy said, "Sure." I think he used it at the Asian Games, and he's used it here. So, quite a valuable bowling ball, it seems.
Here is Mike Fagan. Working on a strike. U.S. with a very early lead in this match. Comes up light, leaves the 2. U.S. up a couple of marks because of the 2 opens by Korea in the first frame.
Here he is, my favorite. He's going to fix that.
Choi Bakum. I think you would have to say at this point that as Choi gets the strike, that Choi probably one of the best players in the history of the World Championships. Given the sheer number of medals that he has won, it's double digits.
If not the best.
It may be, yeah, exactly. And he may have the most medals of anybody in the World Championships. I'm not sure. We'd have to ask Herbert Bickle
He's got
to look that
at
up.
least 2 all-events titles.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing. 2 all-events titles.
Is just a spectacular talent.
And do you know, there was one time this week, and it's the first time I've ever seen him, he approached being angry.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it was just his disappointment, but he was extremely frustrated when they blew the trios. Because he bowled 238 the last game, or 237, something like that. And the 2 right-handed bowlers bowling with him, Shin and Kang, both bowled 174.
Chris Barnes with a strike. Do you think Chris Barnes might be the key for the U.S. here? He struggled a bit in the first match, and he's not bowled his best this tournament, I don't think.
No, I think him and Tommy are the key for their team. I think Tommy definitely at the bottom. He can really get them charged up and going. And I also think that he brings a lot of belief to the other players.
There's a 6-pin for Hee-Sol Hong, excuse me. Still early, just getting started. Pretty even match so far. The Koreans with a couple of doubles to make up for the opens they had. Bill O'Neill steps up in the second. And it's a double for him.
Bill O'Neill's quietly played very well today. He got himself back up into the Masters. Bowled 258 the last game. I honestly believe the key to the Korean team is Hee-Won Kang going up right now. That's a really big call to bring a guy in who hasn't bowled since this morning. And he's also the one who's got the strike or bust type reaction on their team. He's much more hooked than the rest of the team. So
They certainly have put him in the pressure position where, you know, if it comes down to it at the end, he's the one who's going to have to deliver.
yeah, and he's bowling against a guy who's thrown it more clutch shots in the World Championships than most.
Yeah.
In Tommy Jones.
I tell you, one of the best World Championship gold medal matches we've seen is that one with Finland in Munich. It was unbelievable. And he gets a strike. Tommy in that match tossed the double in the 10th to win, and it was
Osku struck, and then I think he four-pinned.
pretty spectacular match. Let's hope we're in for something as special here today. If we are, then it will be a real treat.
I still think the coolest finish ever was when they had the tie.
Yes, that was a great match as well. Yep.
I mean, it's actually quite fun.
And that was
I remind Chris Barnes this a lot of the time, because Chris was actually one of the people who wasn't a huge fan of the matches, and I remind him a lot that Team USA would never have won the team gold in the last in his tenure.
That's
if
true.
they didn't have the matches. I think it's been actually a huge advantage to the United States to go to the matches, because they have a lot more experience of playing these big games than any of the other countries. So whenever he said, "Oh, I think it doesn't favour the better bowlers," I always like to remind him that a lot of his gold medals wouldn't be gold medals if it wasn't for the matches.
That's right, because the U.S. won it the last year that it was the six game total, which was in Busan, Korea, and that was still the team of amateurs.
With Bill Hoffman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bill Hoffman bowled 300 in that team event to help them
And
win.
Rhino.
Yep.
Rhino bowled pretty well in that, if I remember rightly. Was he second in the all events, I think, to Choi? Or maybe Remy.
A long
there was
time
a lot
ago.
of lefties.
Yeah.
It's been a while since it's been good for the left-handers actually at World Championships.
It's been pretty good this week. So move apart.
That's right. That's what I was saying. Really, this is the first one that I've bowled where the left-handers have.
Yeah.
And it even calmed down towards the end of the week as well. It looked like it was going to be, really dominant by left-handers, but towards the end of the week, it's kind of calmed down in the team events.
So we've deemed Chris Barnes as one of our wild cards here for Team USA, and to how much success they'll have in this match. So let's see what he does. Spare strike to start. There's a big double for Chris.
He's made a great change with that ball.
I was going to say, is that the ball that he threw in the 10th frame?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So that looked like it was pretty good in the end of the semifinal, and now he's throwing it again, and it looks like he's got better ball reaction than he did before. There's Choi. You kind of expect he's going to come up big here in this match. That's a triple for him.
It's difficult to beat the lefties, and they've got two, and USA have got none.
Look at the replay on this. Just packs the pocket and comes up
He
with a big
goes
reaction.
crazy.
Yep. Bill O'Neill.
Don't think it's going to affect Bill though.
No, these guys are from Team USA are used to that kind of stuff, and it's not the first time they've bowled Korea, so they.
Well, Bill's also pretty level-headed. Of all the
Yeah.
guys, he's probably the guy who stays most close to neutral the whole time when he bowls. I mean,
now he's got
Sean's pretty fired up most of the
Yeah,
time
that's
as well.
true. And Tommy can get pretty fired
Sean,
up as
Tommy.
well. Yep.
I guess Fagan and Bill are both pretty mellow yellow, aren't they, most of the time?
Here's Shin. That one checks up a little bit, leaves the 4. Working on the double there, so.
Doesn't look like the scores are slowing down any, does it?
It does not. This seems like we're going to be in for a good match here, I think. USA off to a pretty good start here.
I think Korea would be okay if one of Tommy and Sean missed, though.
I'm sure they would. There it is right there. Breaks it up, but leaves the 4-7. Good time to get on your Facebook and Twitter and spread the word about the live stream here today. It's 8:30 in the evening here, but pretty early for those of you on the East Coast of the United States, early in the day. So hopefully you'll tell your friends to tune in. Post the link, bowl.com/bowltv or youtube.com/bowltv. You can go either place and find the live stream.
Sean cleaned up the spare, so
Clean start for the U.S. so far. Can't say the same for Korea. A couple opens in the first frame. It's still relatively close here early on. All right, so we are just wrapping up the third frame, and we'll give you a look at the scoreboard here in just a moment. Once this frame wraps up, close look at Tommy Jones. I'm so glad that we've got the feed for you from Abu Dhabi Sports TV. Certainly makes it a much better experience for watching a live stream, almost like watching a real TV finals. And so our thanks again to the folks at Abu Dhabi Sports TV for letting us tap into their feed, and again our thanks to Bajat, who is the center manager here at Khalifa International Bowling Center. He's done a great job to help us make sure we have the tools we need to put on the live stream for you. And of course, none of this possible without the Emirates Bowling Federation, so thanks to them as well. Great hosts. It's been a great week here so far, and hopefully we can finish off this team event with a great final. Finishing up third frame. Great shot. After a shaky start, Kang has come through with a couple of strikes here, and here's the look at your scoreboard after 3 frames.
we're just having a little debate about as to why the Korean team is using urethane balls, and for about the last 10 years, would you say, Lucas? About 10 years, the Korean team has been using the urethane balls on pretty much every pattern that they can manage, because they have extremely high rev rates, and they're not using urethane balls like I can't think of what the regular rest of the world is using urethane balls. They're actually hooking them the whole lane. I think they just use it because it smooths out the reaction, and it also does that. Like Mike Fagan's ball just went through.
Yeah,
they're able to do something that puts the rest of the field at a huge disadvantage, because they can carry the oil down the lane so quickly, and it actually makes it better for them as well. So it's a bit like, what's the greatest trick the devil ever played? Convincing you didn't exist. Well, it's a little bit like that. They're able to do something that's really good for them and is really bad for everybody else. So it makes it very difficult to beat them in a game, from what we've seen.
Here's Park. Nice look at that urethane ball going down the lane as he strikes for 3 in a row, and Korea cuts the deficit to 14.
I mean, I would say that John Woo Park's rev rate is probably the equivalent to Marshall Kent or Sean when they're really banging on it, when they're really going after it. He has got a pretty high rev rate.
Mike Fagan shooting the 2-8 double wood here. Covers it up. Still a 14-pin lead for Team USA.
Here goes Choi.
A little light hit, leaves 10.
A bit light a couple of times, but he's been really sending the pins around, and now he leaves the 7-pin. Sorry, the 10-pin. It's hard to translate them back when it's the left-hander and the right-hander. You just think about bowling rather than which pin it is.
All right, so Chris Barnes, pretty good start here. Spare double after changing bowling balls at the end of that semifinal.
And he actually went below a 7 the first frame also,
Yep.
so he's pretty locked in right now.
Comes up light,
and
leaves the 2.
Chris has exactly the same reaction as Mike Fagan.
Yeah.
And so it begins, the carry down battle. And this is what the other teams really struggle with. And USA do an exceptionally good job of communicating with each other so that they know, Mike threw that first shot. I'm sure he'd have said to Chris, I felt like I threw a good shot. And then Chris can choose to make a move off that. And now Chris will say to Bill, maybe I got that one a bit right. Back and forth, they can have that debate so that when it gets down to Tommy at the bottom, Tommy can say, okay, well, I've got all the information now. I can make a good shot, or I think all you guys are full of it. I'm just going to stay where I am and throw it better,
Well, I would guess that we've seen 2 players go light back-to-back for the U.S., so I wonder if that's in the back of Bill O'Neill's mind as he steps up here, if he might make a tiny adjustment.
I'm sure he will, because
to combat it.
I mean, Bill was playing a little bit less angle than those 2 players, though. Well, Bill's just got up the hill, so to speak.
Front 4. So if he did make an adjustment, he made it just enough.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he did or if he just...
maybe he saw that he was going high flush, and if it went light, then oh well.
All right, here's Hong. He strikes. Pretty good match so far. Shaping up to be a pretty good one, I think, at this rate. It's pretty close. Just about
it's a nice shot there for by Sean.
Yep. About 14 pins is the lead for Team USA.
Sean's come back pretty nicely today after, the last 2 days, the last 2 events, after struggling a little bit in the doubles. He's played pretty well in trios and then quite well today. I think he shot almost 700 today, so. .674.
That pin's rolling that direction. We didn't get to see it, but it didn't hit it.
Didn't look like he really caught that one very well. Kind of was just a little bit soft off his hand with the revs.
So a chance here for Tommy Jones to expand the lead for the U.S. up to 25 with a strike to close out the 4th frame for the U.S. team.
I think the U.S. need to have a decent cushion built up before it gets late in the game, because I think we've seen most of the days that Korea come pretty strong towards the end of the game once the oil starts to get down the lane and the urethane balls come off it much better.
Well, the U.S. up 25 after 4. We'll take a look at the scoreboard here.
But the U.S. still clean.
Yep. And the U.S. with Bill O'Neill and Tommy Jones both with the front 4 so far.
It's interesting to see Korea seem to go first every frame.
There's Park working on 3 in a row. Great shot. Another strike.
He's a very nice guy.
He's a cool kid.
Very nice kid.
We like him a lot.
He speaks very, very good English as well.
And he's funny. He likes to joke around, have a good time.
Yeah, we've had some fun with him. Today we were explaining to Shin that me and Dom felt like he was the only real man because he threw 16 and the rest of them only threw 15. And John Woo Park was explaining to them because they couldn't get the English quite the right way.
Pin coming across in front of the 10. You see that a lot. It makes her a good on the edge of your seat moment for the fans, but typically, as Stu said, those pins are not as close to the pin as you would expect. Here's Choi. I love when he strikes, he gives you the great reaction. Not this time. A little subdued, I guess.
It was only a one-bagger.
So.
It's only me who gets excited for one-baggers.
Didn't happen all that often this week, did it, Stu?
One-baggers happen quite a lot. It was just anything above a double that didn't happen very often.
Well, that's the way it goes. That's tough patterns this week, and even though these guys still have a lot of strikes, I mean, you could talk about it. These patterns are not that easy. It's not like what you bowl on in your house shot and you average 230 at home. It's a little different.
It's not like what you bowl on anywhere else, actually.
Yeah.
With the way the field bowls the lanes, and he got really slow with that one then.
Yeah, leaves the 4-9 split.
I was actually expecting him to throw that one a little bit faster, not throw it slower, after he left the 4-pin last time.
Well, even if you took this 38-foot Atlanta pattern out and put it at your house at home, you wouldn't get the same kind of feel as what you have here in competition. It's much different.
Absolutely not. Not going across a house with, not necessarily. The varied abilities makes it sound rude, but it's like everybody sees the way to play the lanes completely differently. So, the variant styles might be a more accurate way of describing it.
You've got a wide range of rev rates, ball choice, styles, all kinds of different variables that make it very
there were plenty of people saying, "Oh God, we have to follow the English guys again."
Now Chris makes the spare. Korea with their third open of the match. The U.S. is still clean through 4+ frames here. Haesol Hong stepping up for Korea. Strike spare double to start for Hong. Let's see what he does here. Way on the outside, and look at it come back and roar right through the pins. Playing on the edge out there. Bill O'Neill, front 4, looking for another one here. Did not like it. You could tell he had some issues with his feet there. Maybe we'll get a look at a replay. Not sure what happened, but he leaves the 210 split. Whatever it was, he didn't like it.
It's a good break for Korea, especially if he isn't going to spare it.
Let's see if he can give it a run here. Nope. Loses the count too.
If my opponent would have done that in Qatar, I'd be one more PBA title. But no, Dom had to spare it like a hero. I've been teasing him about that all week when he bowls.
Yeah, it looks like
I think he just got it a little bit right off it. Like he just
probably
got a little bit late with his timing, and he just got that ball going. And you don't have to get it going very far to the right, and it's in trouble.
Kang with a strike. That's 3 of the last 4 strikes for him.
But just to give you a quick idea of the urethane balls. So the 3 right-handers, that frame then. Jungwoo Park actually went high and just got with the 4-pin almost stood. Then we had a 4-9, and then he went high flush. And you think back about the American frame, well, the Koreans haven't moved off what they saw. They just don't see the carry down as much, and I think that's the main reason why they like to use the urethane balls and go that route. So if Tommy strikes here, the US are still going to be about 20 pins up.
Yeah, still pretty close match. So we take it to the halfway point here after Tommy throws this shot.
This is, I think Tommy's bowled extremely well this week.
He's got the front 4 this game, so far so good here in the gold medal match. Let's see if we can take it to the front 5. He will not. So that ball checks up on him, leaves the 3-6.
That's funny. I also wonder whether Chris's shot influenced Billy. Because if you think about it, Chris had exactly the same thing happen that Tommy just had happen when he bowled in the 5th frame, and then Billy went straight after it and threw it out the window. So maybe that was in the back of Bill's mind, and then of course Tommy's got the 2 things in his mind,
Well, here's a look at the scoreboard after 5 frames as we head into the 6th frame. It's pretty close.
Yep.
It's 6 pins.
I ratify your maths, Herr Wiseman.
6-pin lead for the U.S., so virtually nothing.
Yeah, count, basically.
Yep. Long way to go. Still have 5 frames left, so nothing is decided. We basically have a 5-frame match now. Mike Fagan starts off the second half of the game with a strike.
That was a really, really nice shot then. He waited for it a little bit longer, and he really made sure he rolled that one off his hand to get it going on that lane after he left a 2-pin the last time.
Yeah, it came up light last time, and that was definitely, as you said, much better shot.
When you throw it like that, maybe Mike doesn't because he throws it like that more than most people, but when you throw it like that, it always feels like butter.
Here's Park, working on 4 in a row. Turns it into 5.
Having seen the 5 strikes he's thrown, it's amazing he threw it so bad the first frame. And then he wasn't even really that close to the spare either.
Choi and Park carrying the load for Korea so far. Early on at the top of the order. Barnes.
Wow.
Not a great shot there.
That's the one you really don't want to see after the last one had skid by. Because Chris came up light, didn't he, the last time? I believe he was same as...
He did.
And now he's just made his move, and now he almost 4-6. That's the power of the urethane.
Well, Korea has moved into the lead. But now...
Is that a split?
3-7-9 split for Choi.
Folks at home, check that out. That's a collector's item.
Don't see that too often.
Choi don't leave the 3-7-9 very much at all. There again, what lefty does leave the 3-7-9?
Barnes cleans it up. 3-7-9, almost impossible to make, but we'll see if Choi can make it. He seems to do the impossible, so we'll see if he can make it.
I think he just put his other ball on the rack.
Takes
I
the 2.
think the black ball might be done. I think we might be moving to the blue crush. I think the black sumo's done and the blue crush is in. Because he just put his blue crush on the rack.
Yeah, maybe he's going to be switching to that for the rest of the game. Here's Bill O'Neill, 6th frame. Comes up light.
Bill was just a frame late getting to that same spot that Fagan and Chris saw earlier. See what Shin can do now. This lane's been a little bit tighter for him.
Leaves the 9. 4-9 last frame, almost did it again.
His ball, the way he rolls it, he seems to see the early hook a little bit sooner than the other guys do, so it almost feels like he has to make a bigger move than the other Korean guys do when it starts to happen like that.
Well, things have slowed down quite a bit here.
Yeah, I think that makes it almost a bit more exciting. I wasn't really too keen to see him strike every shot. I think it's much more fun when we start, it starts becoming a bit more circus-like.
Makes the math a lot more interesting when it's this close. And
so it's 6 pins still.
Still, yeah.
Nothing changed really.
We had a lot happen in the last three frames for these bowlers, but to start the 6th, but didn't change anything really.
I think one of the things that Sean does extremely well is every shot he throws, he's very aggressive with. You don't see him like back out of it. He really is all the way through it all the time.
He buries it for 3 in a row.
That was a very nice shot, man. Here goes Hong. He's been playing significantly wider than Choi on the laydown, so see if any of the changes are affecting him, but it hasn't done so far. Oh!
Wow. Look at that pin rocking back and forth.
Wow.
For Hong.
That wasn't a very nice break then on the 7th pin. Oh. Wow, there you go. There's the difference between TJ and Sean and the other guys. they're so much more aggressive through the ball that it just doesn't see the carry down anywhere near as much. Tommy decided he was sending that one to the right. He wasn't going to worry about the carry down the lane, and that one really peeled up off it. So for this not to be a complete train wreck of a frame for Korea, it would be really good for them if Kang could strike here. Get the second double at the bottom of the line and kind of move along.
We'll give you a look at the scoreboard after he bowls here. Love to see that viewer number over 3,000. Doesn't happen very often on live stream. 2,500 is a great number, though. So it's due, of course, taking the credit. But we had almost this many for the trios event a couple of nights ago.
Well,
so
almost.
Almost.
My 4 viewers came with me.
All right, so here is Kang to close out the 6th frame, looking for a double to give Korea a pair of doubles moving forward.
It's got to go.
Got it.
Oh, nice shot.
Well, he's got a pair of doubles this game, and looking like a pretty good move at this point, early on.
Very nice. And the lefty, who looked like he really struggled, has been their second best player, really, behind Park.
Here's the scoreboard.
He's thrown extremely nice.
4 frames to go. And it looks like Korea up by, or actually down by a few. 7 pins
7
is the difference.
pins.
1
pin change.
Yeah, because they opened by Korea. So, yep, it's pretty tight. Virtually even here with 4 frames left inside the Khalifa International Bowling Center. Nice look at the venue here. 40-lane bowling center. Beautiful facility. Park, flat 10.
That was a pretty huge shot for Korea because they've only got Kang now on a strike. They really needed their guys who were striking to keep striking.
And now Fagan will have a chance to push the lead to 18 for the U.S. with a strike here. Working on a strike, can turn it into a double and increase the lead for the U.S. Big shot here for the U.S. Light hit does not get the 7 out.
Just didn't quite get that one as nice as the last one. But I think overall USA, if Fagan runs that spare down, will take that. You know, one of the Korean guys who was striking a lot stopped, and Fagan, who hasn't really been striking, didn't get a double. I think that was an okay trade for the US there. Let's see if Choi is going to change ball. I think it looked like he was going to play the blue.
He's got the black one in
It's
his
still
hand.
the black
Yep.
one. Okay.
Maybe he's just getting it ready just in
it
case.
looks like he just
No, he's
wiped it
putting
and took it off.
You're right, he did. He
See?
just wiped it and set it down.
He's making sure he takes care of it. That ball takes care of him.
I see what they're doing. They're just clearing some balls off the rack right now, and he's going to the
He's going to the blue
blue
crush.
one. Yep.
The blue crush is more skid snap, is what I'm told. Don't laugh at me, Lucas. I asked them. That's what they told me.
Well, here you go. Let's see if it does. Oh, that looked pretty good.
See?
Great shot.
Then my boys, I was chatting with them before because I knew I was probably going to be in this position.
Yep.
I wanted to do some research journalism.
That was a great ball change for Trey Bakum.
So it'd be interesting to see what move Chris makes here. He's had his last 2 go through the face. Looks like he's moved in a little bit.
Great shot.
Very nice.
Nice rebound from
Very
Barnes after
nice
a couple
by
of shaky frames.
So here we go, Shin. Are you going to make the change you need to make on this right lane? Last 2 times, 4-pin, 4-9. I think he needs to take a step left, if I'm honest, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, he has done. Oh,
10-pin.
What a horrible break that was. He made the step left, and I guess maybe he took a step left too far because that one just labored a little bit on the back end for the ring 10. Pretty
Pretty impressive to throw a urethane ball, though, and rip it like that. And Not a lot of people can do that. There is Bill O'Neill. I heard some folks asking for it to push from his teammates.
It was an early call of push as well, so that one obviously was coming out the pattern pretty fast.
If you're just tuning in, I know we got a lot of people joining us right now, watching live coverage of the 2014 World Bowling Men's Championships from Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. A nice look inside the venue here. Khalifa International Bowling Center at Zayed Sports City. I'm Lucas Wiseman of Bowl TV alongside Team England's Stuart Williams. I'm going to start calling you Sir Stuart Williams. How's that sound?
Over the top.
Isn't that...
And coming from you, disingenuous.
Isn't everything you do over the top? And here is Hong now, 7th frame. Got that one a bit right, it looked like. He had been flirting with the gutter where on his better shots, and that one looked like it was just a pinch right of where he wanted it to be.
It looked like he just tried to make it hook a little bit more after the last one had the ring turn. But he got away with it. It should be a fairly regulation. So here goes Sean. Let's see what he can do now.
He's
Threw
working
it
on a
great
couple.
last couple of times.
Another great
good
shot. He's fired up. Never been in this position before at the World Championships, but he is performing well so far. Ooh, he hung in that one a little bit long, but manages to cover it up. 7th frame just about over here.
This is another pretty big turning point here. If Tommy strikes and Kang doesn't strike, the lead's going to stretch out to almost 40 pins. So
we've only got 3 frames to go.
Yeah. And also, Korea would only have 1 strike going into the 8th frame.
Tommy Jones pulls it.
Well,
6-10.
he didn't. He moved in and
did he move in?
He moved in. He threw that ball, and that hit the same friction spot that Bill O'Neill's ball hit, and it looked like someone kicked it.
It did.
Because he made. Tommy's a bit like me. When he moves, he moves. He doesn't mess around moving 1s and 2s. He's gonna make a move. I don't know. Maybe he just hit it a little bit harder than he wanted. I'm definitely going to make you hook. And then it really did hook.
It did hook on him.
Yeah. But
covers it up.
But from us neutral viewers, that kept it close. Especially with a Korean strike here. Korean strike would keep it within 8 pins.
Pretty much a standing room only crowd here in the building. All the seats are filled. Everybody wanting to see a good match, and we're getting it so far. Here is Kang working on a double.
Looks like he's getting that.
Wow. He's coming through here, isn't he? Big triple for Korea. And let's take a look at the scoreboard right after we see this replay.
He looks like he's a little older than the other guys on the team. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know either.
He looks like he's a little older than the other guys on the team. Maybe all I'm trying to say is maybe that's the reason why he's, the anchor guy. Because I've never seen Choi ever bowl anything other than 1st or 2nd.
8-pin lead for Team USA with 3 frames left.
It's getting exciting now.
It is. We were hoping for this edge of your seat excitement here. It is very close with 3 frames left, bowling for the world title in the team event. Mike Fagan. Oh my! Almost a 7-10, but blasts it out of there for the strike.
As that hit the pins, I was like, oh, that might be a 7-pin. And then 7-10 gets it out. Nice. The crowd liked that one.
That was an exciting one.
That was an ooh and an ah.
That's exactly right. Getting the crowd fired up.
Here goes Park.
Working on a spare. Well, is it going to go? It does. We didn't see it, but it went. And that is a strike.
He let Team USA know about it.
Oh, yes.
He was like...
Hopefully we'll get a replay on the reaction there. Well, here's a look at it again since we missed it. Let's see if we get to see the pin roll across. Took it out.
Oh, that was slow on it.
Even the cameraman was pulling away from it at that point. But look at this. Look at it roll. Just enough to get it.
Oh, it just beat the
barely
pin
made
set.
it. Here's
We
Chris
might-
Barnes
We
looking
might
for
have
a
had to
double.
have a look in the truck for one more look on that one.
That's a big double for Barnes. That pushes the lead to 18 for Team USA now with that double.
Choi looked phased by that.
Choi can match it. Yeah, Choi hits another strike here. It's going to be right back to 8. I think we can pretty much expect it's going back to 8 here. So here we go. Here's Choi Bakum. Oh,
Wow.
not what we would expect out of Choi. Leaves 6-10.
He's surprised how much that one hooked because, of course, he's changed ball. That's the first time he threw it on that lane. So, wow.
Interesting. There's Bill O'Neill now. Team USA trying to build some momentum here in the 8th frame. Wow, so far that one looked like it might stand up again, like the incredible strike that wasn't really a strike that we've got on our YouTube channel.
I think that's a once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime to catch it on Bowl TV, that's for sure. And if you haven't seen it, you can see it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BowlTV. After we're done here, go and check that out. It's got almost 300,000 views already.
I was about to say, I think if it happened again, it happening to the same person would be awfully cruel.
That would be
twice
awful.
twice in the same lifetime.
And especially at this stage of the match. This is, I think, a big shot here for Team USA. They can push the lead even further.
Because also, Sean will get pretty animated if he strikes here.
And he's going to back up. He does that frequently.
We've seen that a couple of times.
Yep. Looks like his hand was starting to sweat a little bit, maybe, and he likes to feel comfortable when he throws
I've stopped
it.
trying to guess as to why.
No chance to cut into the lead here for Shin, working on a spare. Korea down by 18 pins, now
Korea
19.
are really starting to not strike now, which is pretty unusual late on in the games. This is usually the point where they're really starting to rev up towards the last few frames. This isn't looking very good for the Korean fans, I have to be honest.
All right, here's Rash working out 4 in a row. Looks very determined. Kicks his back foot and does not like. I thought he liked it off his hand. Usually when he kicks his back foot, it's a sign that he likes it. And instead he gets 5 on a string of strikes. Loses count, makes it a tough spare to convert. Super washout.
I like him
Rash.
for this spare. Sean spares a lot of these garbage type splits, spare washouts, whatever you want to call them, but he spares a lot of these.
That's got to be a bit shocking to him. Usually when he kicks his foot out like that, he likes it.
Well, I think he got it in that spot that those other guys have been getting it in finally.
Covers it up. Big conversion for Sean Rash. Oh, the finger wave. We've seen that before at the World Championships.
I'm not sure who or what he was waving to. Choi's reaction was to give him a high five. That's a pretty good way to burst the bubble of someone who's trying to get pumped up. Give him a high five. Nice shot, kid.
Yeah, nice shot, rookie. Nice shot by Hong, but leaves the 8-pin.
Choi looked him in the face and said, "You're not the first American. You're probably not going to be the last American who wags the finger at me."
I don't think that Sean did it disrespectfully towards the Koreans. I think that he was just saying it was not going to be an open, would be my guess.
Nice shot
I think
by
a lot of people assumed that was going to be an open, and I think Sean gave the finger wag saying, not so fast. I think that's what that was.
We'll go with that. But Kang, if he can get a strike here, might be wagging his finger because I tell you what, if Korea can strike here, they've got out of this frame again pretty much scot-free, haven't they? I mean,
for now, but if the U.S.
No, but what I'm saying is they're only really one strike.
Correct.
If he strikes here, it's a 5-pin game. They actually gain pins this frame, which is kind of unbelievable.
The trouble could come for Korea if the U.S. pounds on some strikes in the 9th and adds on to the ones they got here. That could be where the trouble comes. But you're right. They can get out of this and be in good shape with 2 frames to go here. So this is a big shot here for Kang. And he is the substitution. He did not bowl the semifinal.
And he is definitely taking his time on this. He knows this is a big shot.
A little moisture into the thumb hole.
These next 2 shots for Korea are absolutely huge. Their 2 strike guys are going up. If they get 2 strikes here, they're in good shape. If they don't strike either, it's a long ways to get those pins back.
He won Kang. 8th frame. Gets another one. 4 in a row.
Wow.
What a shot by Kang.
What a performance this is by this guy. Hasn't bowled for probably 6 hours or more. Probably more, like 8 hours. And he threw that first shot out the window, and me and you raised an eyebrow at each other and said, what's this guy doing here? And since that moment, he's been fantastic for them.
Yep, and he cuts it to 5 with 2 frames to go. The U.S. up by 5.
And how many times has he been the guy who's had to strike in that spot? Being the anchor guy.
Looks like a brilliant coaching change so far at this point.
Regardless, it's been a brilliant coaching change.
And here is Park.
Oh, boy, you give that the business.
Oh, my. Snaps out to 10.
He says, boy, you're going to the left. And he hit. Wow.
Double. And that gives Korea the lead by 5.
God, I wish I could do that.
What a shot.
Wow.
By
That's
Park.
a way to get over the flat 10. Just rip on it.
Just overpower it.
But Fagan with the chance to wrestle the lead back for USA. And like you were saying, Lucas, Fagan, Barnes, O'Neill, they all strike. USA are going to take a pretty healthy lead into the 10th frame.
So here we go. Mike Fagan working on a strike.
Oh, boy.
Gets the light hit to carry. The
that
7
was-
goes for Fagan.
Wow.
And takes the high fives low.
Wow, that was a double, those 2 shots. Because he almost 7-10'd, messaged the 7-10, and then I don't really know what that was, but it was a strike.
Yep, and he gets the double, gives the U.S. back the lead by 5. Here's Choi. 9th frame. Getting into the clutch time here. And guess who's going to come through? I bet he comes through strong here at the end. Choi Bak-um with a strike in the 9th. And the Koreans trying to set it up for the final frame. Even Tommy Jones gave him high 5. It's coming down to the wire here. 2014 World Bowling Men's Championships Team Gold Medal Match.
It's amazing how these games have been so close the last few years.
Barnes a chance to push the lead to 15 for Team USA. Working on a double. Looking very focused. Oh, and a 10 pin. And he wanted that one.
I guess Fagan, I guess they repaid that Fagan break. Because that was a pretty
Let's take a
good
look at the
shot.
replay here as the ball goes through the pins.
Oh.
Just wraps that 6 so fast around the
The
10.
thing as well is you've got to take into consideration what had happened previously.
Here comes Korea. That's a strike for Shin, and they're 3 for 3 here in the foundation frame.
I mean, Chris's previous shots on that lane. Oh, he's missed
Oh
it.
my, and Chris Barnes
he's
misses the
missed
10 pin.
Oh my God.
Wow, what a critical error there by Chris Barnes.
Boy.
Previous to that, the U.S. had only had 1 open in the whole game, and it was a split. And now an easy spare missed, and Korea is ready to pounce on it right here
They're going
with
to go
Haesol
crazy if they
Hong.
strike here.
They definitely will give them the
They're
business.
gonna
Let's
go.
see.
It's got a chance. Oh.
6 pin. And Chris Barnes is walking all the way down towards lane 3 and still in shock that he missed that 10 pin. Don't see that very often out of Chris Barnes.
No, you do not.
Bill O'Neill trying to make up for it here with a double.
Oh, well, that's wide.
Oh, and he leaves a split
dear,
now.
dear.
A 2-4-10, and things have shifted dramatically here in this frame.
Because really, if you think about it, Sean almost opened as well, and he met the great. Oh, he's missed.
Oh, he makes it.
Oh, even the commentators are starting to get excited back here.
Hearts are stopping everywhere here.
Oh,
Oh, and he converts it.
has
The
it.
2-4-10 goes down for Bill O'Neill. And what a conversion.
USA needed that big time. That was a great spare by
Holy
spare by
smokes.
Bill O'Neill.
Folks,
I think that Kang really actually needs to take a little bit of time here.
cool it off and relax.
Yeah.
Folks, now's a good time. You got to post it on your Facebook and Twitter. We got to get folks watching this. We are down to the wire, and we're seeing it all here in this team final.
And the Korean guys are just smiling about it. They're so relaxed.
They are
they're just
relaxed.
smiling with each other. I guess they're saying, nah, we already won the Asian Games.
Rash is giving Kang a look like, are you going to bowl or what's going on here? And Kang, I think that rightfully so, taking his time, letting the crowd calm down a bit before he
I think
takes
he's
the
letting
shot.
the whole thing calm down. Just
Yep.
it got a little bit crazy then the last couple of minutes.
It's almost a very veteran move, actually, here.
Yeah.
4 strikes in a row. Korea could go into the 10th with 4 strikes working for their 5 players. He's been brilliant so far. He likes it. Oh, what a shot! Holy cow, that was awesome.
That was 10 back from the arrows, wasn't it? He knew from the arrows that was 10 deep.
How much pressure now on Rash and Jones to strike here? Pretty significant, I think, to close out the 9th frame.
I feel pretty good about Sean's.
Here's Sean. Oh my, through the face, 4-6 split, and boy, things
This
are just
is falling
falling apart.
pieces for USA.
How much has this changed in the last few shots? Unbelievable.
I mean, just think how catastrophic this frame could be if it wasn't for the Fagan, the good break he got on the bucket crumbler, so to speak. You know, that
Open frame. So a couple opens already here in the 9th for the U.S.
So what they've got a 7 line, and the best the USA can be is 4. So if Tommy doubles, it'll be 30 pin lead to Korea.
With just 1 frame left.
That's if he doubles.
Yep. It's
Wow.
falling apart here for the U.S.
This really seems like this is strike or go home territory for Tommy right now.
U.S. desperately needs a strike here out of Tommy Jones. We'll give you a look at the scoreboard after he finishes this frame.
But like we were saying earlier about Korea, they go in the frame first all the time, and it's
Yep.
scoreboard pressure almost.
Big shot. Shot of the night so far. Oh, and he almost 7-10 and leaves the 7.
Oh,
Wow. Dodges
was-
a bullet, but
that was probably the best shot anybody on the team has thrown. His last 2 shots, fantastic shots, but well, folks, that's why you've got to keep watching the whole game.
that's exactly
because
right. Tommy
you
covers
never
it up.
quite know what's going to happen.
Here's a look at your scoreboard. As Stu will tell you exactly what the difference is.
So it's 4. It's actually, I miscounted earlier, it's 30 pin lead to Korea. But USA only have 1 guy on strikes.
Yeah.
Korea have 4 of their 5 guys on strikes.
It's not looking good for the U.S. at this point.
So, really, the main way you can dig yourself out of a 30 pin deficit is when you've got the strikes. They're going to need a lot of help from Korea.
Well, this is a huge frame right here. The U.S. needs Mike Fagan to pop a couple of strikes here if they want to stay in this.
Looks
Big
good.
shot. Delivers. 3 in a row for Fagan. And a very subdued reaction out of Team USA. They know the position they're in. They're in some trouble here.
But this is maybe what we were saying earlier about Korea and their lineup.
Yep, exactly right.
These 3 guys all strike. This match is over.
Yep.
It's done and dusted. It's not even it's a no-doubter. So, it's interesting ways to view the order. I always like having a good guy, a bit like USA have got. I mean, Chris Barnes, like a solid guy in your 2-hole. People laugh at home about playing in the 2-hole, but I think it's one of the most important spots.
Oh, my.
Oh.
He almost split there. He almost 4-9, leaves the
almost
4.
4-9, and he almost struck.
Wow.
That was
That was crazy.
that was pretty scary. So,
Big shot here. Chance to eat into the deficit again here.
ooh, that pin, we're just seeing the replay on the TV here. That pin got really close. Hey, Lucas, we're going to be on TV.
Big shot here for Mike Fagan.
Oh, fast.
So the 10 stays up.
He didn't roll that one as much. It was still a pretty good shot, but from the angle we've got, I can see his arm really, really well. And it just looked like that was a little bit quick then.
No problem on the spare for Park as we are winding down here in our gold medal match.
Mike's shot then, I'm being hypercritical here because I saw it quite clearly how well he's been throwing it. But Mike has to throw it that well to strike. The Koreans don't have to throw it that well with their urethane balls to strike. That's really the deal for the urethanes.
So the difference should be around 20 pins at this point, I think.
Yep. It's right on 20 at the minute.
Strike for Park. So 236 for Park, 218 for Fagan. As we only have 4 bowlers left to go. Here's a quick look at your scoreboard. As Chris Barnes getting ready to bowl.
Maybe we're going to have another tie. How about that?
That would be okay with me.
I bet it would be in a US fan.
Week 10 for Barnes. U.S. in a lot of trouble, I think, here. They're going to be in a world of hurt if Choi Bak-rum strikes here on this shot, and
he is going to be loud.
Oh, it's going to be
strikes.
It's going to be wild if he strikes right here.
Give it the business.
He's asking for it to hook. It does. What a shot!
Wow.
Oh my!
To quote Randy Pearson, he sent that one out for burger and fries, and it came back with steak and potatoes.
Gets the double and pushes the lead for Korea. Chris Barnes makes the 10. Korea up by 30. And we've only got 3 more bowlers to come here. And if Choi strikes again, it goes to 40.
Choi was calling that one in early. Off his hand, he was almost screaming help.
But if he strikes again, it's going to be 40, and the U.S. has no strikes working coming up. So if he strikes here, the path to victory for the U.S. is very, very cloudy.
And it hasn't looked like Kang's going to do him any favors at the bottom, has it? Oh,
there we go. Gets another one! And is Korea on the verge of their first team gold medal in history?
Maybe this is the way we can finally get rid of Choi Bak-rum. He wins a team gold medal and he'll quit.
Chris Barnes, another 10-pin, 201 for Barnes.
Do you think he might be the most decorated bowler of all time? Like, not in the World Championships, just like all medals. Because, I mean, he must have won a lot of Asian medals.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess some of the Korean women must be up pretty close with him as well.
Big finish for Choi. As he puts the finishing touches on a 227.
He knows this is over.
Look at the replay. Take a look at his face coming back here. Yep. He knows they're going to win. Here's Bill O'Neill. Once again, the U.S. has nothing to build off of. No strikes for their remaining bowlers in the 9th frame. And they're down by more than 40 pins. It's 41 pins right now.
41 pins, yeah. If anything's going to go wrong, these are the 2 guys who've got a chance. Because Shin has looked like he could split at any moment with his ball.
See what happens here. And he almost does.
And
4-7.
The young kid, Hang, has looked like he could miss a single pin at any moment as well.
Well, that gives the U.S. a momentary reprieve, I suppose, that he didn't strike right there. But this is a critical shot. The U.S. has to strike out the rest of the way to have any chance here.
That's it.
Gets the double.
And it does. All right. This game would only be a bit more interesting if Tommy had struck at the bottom. Do you know, with the double, you know, you can pick up 30 pins with the last guy then. Oh.
Covers it up, makes the heart stop a bit.
Wow, I'm not sure. I'm not sure his heart would have been too stable then when he threw that one to the right-hand side of the 4-pin. I guess it was a good way to avoid chopping it.
Bill fills it up at the 10.
Well, Bill did.
Yep.
That's one guy down, 2 more to go.
Bill did all he could there. So it's going to be, what's the difference going to be here going into the last 2 bowlers?
31.
There's a look at the scoreboard for
31. I mean, the thing is if Kang just throws a strike, it's over. It doesn't matter what the other guy does.
So here is Sean Rash. Must strike situation the rest of the way for the U.S.
Great shot. Great shot.
So let's see what Haesol Hong does here.
I mean, his last 4 shots have all been, okay, and they've all got 9. So, it's there.
He pulled it inside.
Oh.
Gets 7 on the spare, so that drops the count to 28.
Oh, it's getting interesting now.
It's a tough spare to shoot here in this situation.
Lefties are pretty good at the 245, the
247.
247, because their angles are good from playing straight down the lane. It's not. This spare is much more missable for a right-hander than it is for a left-hander.
Well, another must-strike situation here for Sean Rash. He might let him shoot the spare first. It looks like he will.
I wouldn't have done. I'm mean though.
Would have stepped up and thrown another strike, huh? Here we go. Let's see if he covers it up. Oh my! He misses it to the left, and the U.S. has life. Wow! What a turn of events here. Korea's still in the lead, but my goodness.
Tommy is trying to compose himself.
This is a must strike here for Sean.
Well, it isn't. It isn't now. I mean, now the guy missed.
But
if Sean spares,
Kang working on a
Yeah, I
string
understand.
going into the 10th. Let's see what Sean does here. It's a big strike. He says it's not over as he yells.
I'm not sure Kang speaks English, so I'm not sure that would have helped. But
And he's right. It's not over yet.
But if Kang strikes here, it is. So let's think this through.
Yeah,
If
let's see if we can do some scenarios here.
If Kang spares, that's going to get that'll be him as 230. So he'll add 40 to that number. That'd be 1090. No, it'd be 1080, won't it? He'll add 30, so it'd be 1088. So Tommy could strike out. So
Well, right now, if Rash strikes here, Korea's up 7, I believe.
yeah.
So here we go. He gets 8. So now it's 9. Korea's up.
So
Quick look at the
if he
scoreboard.
strikes, it's over. If he doesn't strike, Tommy can strike out to win.
So here we go. He's not wasting any time. He's right up on the approach. He won Kang.
Oh my God.
Going for it here. Korea's never won the gold medal. He likes it. Oh my!
Oh my God.
Goodness! He leaves the stone cold 8.
And it's reminiscent of Raymond Janssen in '95.
Wow!
Oh my God.
Oh.
USA can still win.
We said it would be hard to top the match between U.S. and Finland in Munich, and this might do it. Tommy Jones has a chance. They're asking for everybody to quiet down.
Oh my God.
Must strike here for Tommy Jones. Look of determination. Tommy Jones pitches it right. It strikes. The U.S. still in it here.
Oh my God.
Max score for the U.S. 1099. The max
Tommy
score.
needs strike 9.
Yep, max score here for
Oh my God.
Korea.
This can't happen, surely. Oh, what a horrible, horrible break. Korea can shoot 97, and Tommy can shoot 99.
You're right. Yep. So it's in the U.S.'s hand now. This is just a spectacular match here.
Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened.
Tommy's going to take a re-rack, it looks like. Kang
Let's make
shooting
the
the spare. Covers it up. He made a spectacular
my
shot.
God. That was
Kang made the shot of his life right
That
there,
was
and it
horrible.
didn't strike. Just gut-wrenching for the Koreans.
Oh wow. We might still have a tie.
We still could have a tie. But Tommy Jones must strike here.
That's unbelievable.
One of the best matches we've ever seen here at the World Championships. Tommy Jones. A strike to give the U.S. the world title in team events. Oh, and he rings the 10! Oh, he put it right where it needed to be. And Korea has won the gold for the first time in history. They've come so close in the past, and now the time is here for Korea.
3 pins. 3 pins he needs.
Just needs a couple of pins and count here. They've been waiting for this moment for a long time, the Korean program has, and they finally are going to pull through.
I mean, that was
Take a look at the replay on the shot by Tommy.
Shot by Tommy Jones.
He just wrapped that 6 around the 10. Wow.
The thing is,
Kang still needs a few pins
he
here.
needs 3.
Let's see if he pitches it right up the
middle.
middle. And he will. And Korea has won the gold medal. Congratulations, Korea. A well-earned gold medal here against the U.S., and they finally have broken through to win the world team title. What a moment for the Koreans. A spectacular match here in Abu Dhabi. 1097, 1088. Korea takes the gold. Spectacular finish here at the Khalifa International Bowling Center. This is why you watch Bowl TV. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It has been absolutely fantastic.
What a substitution.
Wow.
What a substitution by the Korean coach.
They put in Hee-Won Kang, and he delivers a 237 game.
Wow.
And the Koreans win by 9 pins, 1097 to 1088. What a match. I mean, it's just hard to even find the words to describe it. It's just
the thing that was most amazing about the match, from my point of view, is at every point, we could have had the 10th frame almost every time.
Yeah.
The most that was ever in it was 30 pins.
It was very close the whole time.
The whole time. How many times did me and you say, Kang has to strike here?
Yep.
And then, how unbelievable did he throw it in the 10th frame? He was down on his knees. The ball wasn't even at the rangefinders. He was down on his knees, and he's stone 8. Then it goes to one of the most clutch bowlers in the history of bowling, Tommy Jones. He gets up, he goes 10 back. The guy makes the spare. Tommy needs another hit to win. And, I mean, it must be gut-wrenching to throw it as well as both those guys. I mean, you have to feel for both of them.
Yep.
And just think how the young kid, Hong, would have felt if Korea had been that close and he misses the 247.
Oh, just a spectacular finish. We could not have asked for a better match.
No,
it was really,
match.
really good.
I mean, the exact opposite of the semifinals.
Yes, exactly right.
I mean, that's what's great and terrible about bowling in one in one thing there. You know, you never know what you're going to get.
Well, we will be back tomorrow. Live coverage of the Masters competition starts at 9 a.m. local time, midnight Eastern time in the United States. But it's going to be hard to top that, folks. And you'll be able to watch this on demand later if you want. But just a great match, and congratulations to Korea. Really, I mean, it's they have worked so hard to earn this medal, and it is the most prestigious medal here at this tournament. And so it's nice to see them finally be rewarded for their efforts.
The other part of me was, he threw the stone 8, and Korea were the ones who were due a break. Korea were the ones who led. Korea were the ones who set the world record. They bowled the best. They were the ones who were due a break.
Yep.
Does my heart go out to Tommy? Of course it does. He threw it great in the 10th frame. But if somebody was going to get a break, Korea deserved it. I mean, I don't know how many they actually led by, but it was a significant amount, especially over USA.
Yes.
So it's nice to see, from my eyes as somewhat of a purist, that the team who bowled the best won.
Well, the Koreans definitely put on a clinic here this week, and they come through and take the gold. So congratulations to Korea on the gold. The United States takes the silver. Australia and Sweden will share the bronze medal. That's going to do it tonight from Abu Dhabi. Back on the air. Tomorrow's the final day here at the World Championships Masters competition tomorrow. We appreciate you tuning in. I'm Lucas Wiseman. Thanks to Stu Williams for sitting in, and thanks to Matt Cannizzaro. You can read his recap on the event coming up on Bowl.com in a little bit. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow here on Bowl TV. Have a good night, everybody.